In this video, I had to research one mental disorder and one addiction. I decided to research personality disorder and exercise addiction. I will start off by talking about personality disorder, but first we need to know what a personality disorder is. A personality is the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves in a situation. When you have a personality disorder, you still think, feel, and behave in situations, but the way you do is viewed as the wrong way by the public. Someone with a personality disorder has a hard time keeping relationships because they do not act appropriately in some situations. That could cause them to hurt themselves or harm others that are close or around them. Now, what is the cause of a personality disorder? From the website psychguides.com, it says, quote, "A personality disorder are caused by a mixture of genetic factors, such as a family history of disorders and upbringing. People who have dysfunctional homes in early childhood and adolescence can develop personality disorders later in life." End quote. This means that a personality disorder can be caused by genetics or from a dysfunctional household during the early years of somebody's life. How do people with personality disorders manifest themselves? People with personality disorders will often seem inconsistent, confusing, and frustrating to people around them. These people may not understand boundaries between themselves and others, and they may have a very high or a very low self-esteem. Because of the way these people portray themselves, this can lead to problems with mental health. With their constant changes in attitude and erratic behavior that can occur, friends and family may want to distance themselves from this person. This will lead to this person being angry at themselves and could potentially lead to self-harm, depression, or even addiction to help cope with being all alone and unwanted. Speaking of addiction, let's talk about exercise addiction. What is exercise addiction? Well, exercise addiction is an unhealthy obsession with exercise and physical activity. This basically means that someone is treating physical activity like a drug or alcohol. And exercise addiction releases the same neurotransmitters that are released when using drugs. Those two neurotransmitters are endorphins and dopamine. An exercise addict receives joy when they are exercising, but as soon as that exercise session is over, they lose that joy until they exercise again. Wanting a perfect body image generally is what causes an exercise addiction. It can also be caused by an eating disorder. For example, anorexia. Anorexia is an eating disorder where the person limits calories or will use excessive exercise to lose weight. You might say, how do you know if you're addicted to exercise? Well, if you want to go and exercise when you're injured, there's a good chance you're addicted to exercise. In this sense, I don't mean you hurt your leg, but you work out arms. I mean you hurt your leg, but then you continue on as if you didn't. This will cause further injury to that part of your body. If you feel like you're missing the gym in the sense of withdrawal, that's another sign that could mean you're addicted to exercise. By over-exercising, you're going to cause your muscle to be so sore that it's unhealthy. Not to mention all the money that this person has probably spent on protein powder and supplements. This could get to the point where you start to neglect family gatherings and you go and exercise. A person with an exercise addiction could think that it's good to exercise, but if you don't let your muscles recover, they don't rebuild to be stronger, and you could just end up hurting yourself. That could discourage somebody if that's their goal. When it comes to substance use and abuse, I would say that somebody with a personality disorder is more likely to use drugs and alcohol. However, if it comes to performance-enhancing drugs, then I would say somebody with a exercise addiction would be more likely to go towards those. The reason for this is because somebody with a personality disorder could be rejected or pushed away from their friends or family, and as a way to cope with the loneliness, they could turn to drugs and alcohol. Getting high and drunk will cause them to forget about their loneliness that they're experiencing. This can lead to overdose, drinking and driving, and even death. In the realm of PEDs, people with exercise addictions could take advantage of these. If they are trying to get bigger and stronger, then they may take some steroids to try and increase muscle growth. Steroids in particular are not great for your health, but if you constantly go to the gym and you're exercising, it might think to help you with your exercise addiction, but it's going to do the opposite. It's going to increase your exercise addiction. To avoid getting addicted to drugs, alcohol, and PEDs, I would suggest that you go to therapy. If you have a personality disorder, they can help teach you the right way to act with people. This way, your friends and family might give you a second chance. By having your friends and family around you, it won't make you feel lonely, so you won't get into drugs and alcohol. As for people with exercise addictions, I would suggest getting a trainer to monitor your progress. This way you have somebody looking after you when you're exercising. By having a trainer, they can tell you if you've had enough and assign rest days. Having a trainer will make exercising more organized and will hopefully prevent you from getting an addiction. When it comes to mental health, everybody at some point will experience it. And so it's okay to ask for help even though you're going through a tough time in your life. It may be a challenge at times when the stigma around mental health is poor. People may say, suck it up, or it's not really that bad, when in reality, it's something that should be taken very seriously. When it comes to men and mental health, they don't tend to share what's going on because the stigma around this situation is that men are supposed to be big and strong and not show emotion. This is wrong because men go through the same mental illnesses that everybody else goes through. A great example of a man speaking up and helping others is Nick Petrella. Nick talks to others about what depression was like for him, how he got through it, and what were some of the signs that show that you have a mental illness. If you want to check out some of Nick's work, go to his Instagram. Finally, if mental health is affecting you, join the Bell Let's Talk Day and voice your mental health. We are all susceptible to mental health. You're not alone. Reach out and get help. That's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one. See ya.